Hello, my honeys. I'm Healthy Emmie. I'm a nutritionist, a weight loss specialist, and today I'm sharing with you 5 weird eating tricks I do at every meal to keep me slim. Now, I know I've used the term weird in the title, but the reality is that these are things that we should be doing at every single meal and shouldn't seem weird, but they do seem weird because we live in such a fast-paced society. Everything that I'm going to do today is going to be rooted in helping us slow down and get the body into rest and digest. When we're in fight or flight and blood is flowing away from our digestive tract towards our arms and our legs because our primal brain thinks that we're running from a predator, we're not going to be able to digest food well. We're going to have bloating, indigestion. We're going to struggle with releasing weight because we're not connected to our hunger fullness cues. Our hormones get out of whack. Our cortisol rises. Our adrenaline rises. It's a mess. Hop on the Hot Mess Express. If you want to learn how to slow down and allow your body to release what it doesn't need to hold on to, release fat, release inflammation, release water weight, you're going to want to keep watching. And I'm going to be having my breakfast with you. Now, because it is the first meal of the day, I'm going to be taking my vitamins. I'm going to take my supplements. It is imperative that you do take your vitamin D3 alongside of a meal because it is a fat-soluble vitamin, and I do have some healthy fats in here to make sure that I do absorb my vitamin D, but I'm taking my vitamin B12 and my vitamin D3. The exact ones that I actually created and make on a daily basis are available in the description bar, and you can learn all about why I do choose to take these, but just trust me. Take them. They're the cleanest ones you're gonna find. All the other ones on the market are junk. These are premium, clean, vegan ingredients. Okay, the first trick that I do before every single meal is I meditate. Now, I used to be a school teacher. I can appreciate that you can't escape your job and go to the Madha Bodhi temple and be a Buddhist and meditate for a minute. But meditation does not have to be so official before every single meal. In fact, if you do meditation at the beginning of the day and it is the first thing that you do at the beginning of the day, that is going to carry with you for the rest of the day. In fact, the first place stuck the landing. That is how reliable these supplements are. These are not paid actors. The first place that you get dopamine from in your day is where your brain is going to seek dopamine for the rest of the day. So if the first thing you do is have a big old iced coffee, or the first thing that you do is you are scrolling your phone on Instagram, that's where you're going to get the dopamine hit for the rest of the day. So the first place that I get dopamine from is my meditation. That carries with me for the rest of the day. I'm in a rest and digest state for the rest of the day, and every meal is going to dip back into that bank that I set for myself at the beginning of the day. So I actually use the meditation I actually use the meditation in Slim. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Slim. If you're not a member of my Slim platform, now is the time because we start every morning with a meditation. So let's do it. Scroll down here to meditate. All right, let's begin.
Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. We can become so habitual with our actions, and we can think that there's no opportunity for us to change. I am who I am, I do what I do. But those tiny little habits that we do every day make a huge impact when they're tweaked and when they're changed. The Japanese philosophy of Kaizen is that small changes, when made consistently, produce a massive impact over time. So as we meditate today, I want us to inhale and invite tiny little tweaks, invite little bits of change. And I want us to exhale the rigidity with our routines and habits and allow this to be a more fluid transformation.
So with Slim, it's a 5-minute meditation, and then I give you an affirmation at the end of the meditation to take with you. So let's see what today's affirmation is.
Today's affirmation to take with you for the rest of the day is, every action that I take has an impact beyond what I might be able to see in this moment.
Pretty fitting for today, huh? So if that resonates with you, that is how we start out every single day in Slim. So you can head into the description bar, and that's just a piece of the puzzle. You get custom meal plans, workout plans, journals. But anyway, that is the first thing that I do during my day. And I do like to meditate before each meal to get my body into the rest and digest state. Also alongside my meditation is a gratitude practice for the food that I get to eat, not the food that I have to eat. I often have clients who sometimes report when they're no longer eating the highly stimulating, hyperpalatable foods that they used to, they can feel sad about it. But how lucky are we that we get to eat this food? I get to eat this oatmeal and zucchini and almond butter and flaxseed and cinnamon. I don't have to eat this food, I get to. I have the privilege to be able to afford healthy groceries. Some of these groceries are organic, some of them were gifted to me. The almond butter was gifted to me. I get to nourish my body with this food. And I'll go ahead and take a bite of it. Studies show that practicing gratitude helps lower cortisol levels, which is going to help with reducing water weight, inflammation. Stomach fat is linked to higher cortisol levels. Also, now we are setting the tone of this meal to be one of nourishment and appreciation as opposed to overindulgence. Let's take another bite that I am so grateful that I get to take. This is my everyday breakfast. I've shown this so many times, I feel. I'll just do a quick rundown of it. 1 cup of oats, an entire zucchini grated up, mix them together. Throw in about 1.5 cups, 1 3/4 to 2 cups of water, depending on desired consistency, how big the zucchini was. It ends up being about 1.5 cups of oats, of water. You can also use a plant-based milk. Microwave it for 5 to 6 minutes. Then I add in a tablespoon of ground flaxseed, some cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter powder, mix it all together, and then I drizzle almond butter on top. Something else that I like to do before my meals is I'll stretch, and I often do it during my meditation. I like to do a back twist. This can help stimulate blood flow and circulation so that the digestive process can be aided by this. Also, stretching in certain poses like the Buddha's pose or the frog's pose, different yoga poses, can help lower stress levels, moving you into that rest and digest state. And some stretches can even stimulate the vagus nerve, and that is going to help with reducing stress and tension and helping you be more present and calm around your meal. I also like to stretch up to the sky and lean back to really open up the stomach and get it prepared for the food that's gonna come. It's like you stretch your muscles before you're gonna go for a run or a walk, or you're gonna do a workout to warm everything up. Same thing with the digestive tract. It's very important not to fall into the all or nothing mindset with these. So, well, Emmy, I can't meditate. I have to work while I eat. I have kids. I can't meditate while I eat. That's okay. Meditation doesn't have to be, like I said, you going to the temple with Buddha and sitting there and shaving your head and doing that whole thing. It doesn't have to be that intense. Meditation can look like this. There could be a hurricane happening around me, and I do this. What was that, 5 seconds? And that's gonna have a profound impact. What did the meditation for today say? The meditation for today said, don't underestimate that those small actions that you take have a bigger impact than you're able to see. Act as if what you do makes a difference, because it does. So even if you can't stand up and stretch, as an example, I usually stand up and stretch. I sit on the floor when I'm doing my stretch before I eat my breakfast, but because I'm filming this video, just doesn't logistically work out. But you know what I did? I stretched up to the sky in my chair. I did a little back bend. You could do this. You could go before you eat. That's gonna have an impact. You could do one of these. That's gonna have an impact. So don't fall into that all or nothing thinking. The third habit is one that you've probably noticed me doing. I put the fork, in this case a spoon, put it down between bites. If we are ferociously shoveling in this food and that utensil never leaves our hand, we're gonna eat way more quickly than we are supposed to. We're not gonna give our brain enough time to get the signal from our stomach that it's had enough food because we've shoveled it in so quickly. So I put the spoon down, I put the fork down between bites. Breathe, present, be mindful. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if you're rushing through your food, what else are you rushing through? You're rushing through your work, you're rushing through intimate time with your partner, you rush through all of it and you never get to enjoy it. So slow down, be present. Wherever you are, be all there. When you're eating your food, eat the food. When you're doing your laundry, do your laundry. Be present. I am eating right now and telling my body that I'm doing that. Slow down, be mindful. Don't shovel it all in, and then your body's like, whoa, we didn't have time to prepare for digestion. If I had just slowed down and given enough time for some communication between my brain and my stomach to happen, then my brain could send the signal for my stomach to release digestive enzymes and I can digest the food better. And also the stomach can send the signal back to the brain of, hey, we've had enough. We don't need any more food. Studies do also show that those who eat more slowly, more effortlessly maintain a healthy weight over a long period of time. It's always so funny whenever I eat with others or we're at a restaurant or I'm visiting family, everyone else is done so quickly and I still have like half of my plate full of food because I eat so slowly. And in those cases, it's okay. Worst case scenario, somebody comes to clear my plate and I'll either say, oh, I'm still working on this, or I'll say, actually, can I have like a little to-go container of this? If they want to clear everybody's plates because they want to start dessert, I'm not going to make everybody wait. But I could have them put it into a to-go container, or I have a to-go container, and then I could continue eating it so as not to feel rushed. But it's amazing how quickly people do eat. There is a study, and I'll check this, but I believe it's that the average American eats their breakfast in under 5 minutes, whereas in other parts of the world, meals take hours. The next trick that you'll notice me doing, I chew to the consistency of applesauce. Now, oatmeal is already pretty gooey, but that doesn't stop me from chewing at least 30 times before swallowing to allow within your saliva, there are enzymes that are going to help break down the food so that by the time it gets to your stomach doesn't have to do so much work to break down the food. So if we keep the food in our mouth for long enough, then our saliva is going to have time to start to break down the food. So I chew on the choo-choo train. Even if I'm having oatmeal, I'm going to chew it probably the same amount of times as if I'm having Brussels sprouts just because it's a habit. The more quickly we eat, the less time we allow our stomach to send the signal to our brain that we've had enough. So if we're not chewing the food enough, we're not putting the fork down between bites, we're not moving through this meal slowly, we're gonna end up eating more food than our body needs, which leads to weight gain. Not to mention, if you don't chew the food slowly, if you're ferociously eating through your meals, you're going to be swallowing a lot of air, which is going to get trapped and cause bloating. Another thing is that when you are eating really quickly and you don't break down the food enough, it gets to your stomach and your stomach has so much work to do that it becomes inflamed and bloated. And it's not a good thing if you are, especially if you are at work having food and then you have to give a presentation, or you're a teacher and you got to stand up, or you have kids and you want to run around with them, then you feel bloated and heavy and weighed down. If you slow down during the eating process, you can sidestep that issue. Next habit is interacting with all of the senses. So food is not just about taste, but it's about sight, it's about what we can see, what we can hear, what we can smell, and the texture of it, how it feels. So let's go through each of these. Let's talk about sight. What do I see? In my oatmeal is beige, but with the green zucchini, it almost has more of this yellowish hinge to it, which is surprising because you think it would turn it green, but it actually turns it sort of a yellow tinge. And then I see that this one is a little bit more creamy. It's a little bit more soupy, whereas sometimes it's a little bit more dry, but this one came out a little bit more creamy and soupy. I also have the drizzle of almond butter, which is reflective. It's almost shiny, the almond butter. And then in the oatmeal, there's little holes. There's little holes for little air pockets almost. And then as I go through the oatmeal, I can see that the top is a little bit more hardened and then the inside is a little bit more liquid. Smell. I can definitely smell the almond butter and the peanut butter powder. I would say that it is a subtle sweetness. It's not an overpowering sweetness, it is a subtle sweetness, and I can smell the warmth of the cinnamon. Now, what does it sound like? I can hear the sponginess, I can hear the gooiness, I can hear the bubbles sort of popping, the air bubbles popping, and then I can hear it as I chew it too. What do I hear as I chew? I can hear my saliva moving around with the oatmeal. I can hear my teeth very gently working on it, not chomping, very gently pressing on it. And then the texture. I would describe the texture as creamy, a little bit spongy. How else would I describe this texture? A little bit gummy. So expanding sort of my relationship with this food, as opposed to just looking at it through taste and hyper focusing on that, appreciating that there's a lot more that's going on between my body and this food, and to be more present and mindful with it. Because at the end of the day, what matters most here is that we're mindful enough with our food so that we can more easily regulate the amount of food that we truly need. The more mindful we are, the better we are at regulating. The less mindful we are, the worse we are at regulating our intake. And in order to remain slim and healthy and lean and effortlessly release what your body doesn't need to hold on to, you must be able to regulate how much your body needs and be mindful with the food. This is cold at this point. It does need to go back in the microwave, and I will continue eating it and finish it. Remember that inside Slim, you get a customized meal plan, a customized workout plan, those meditations, you get those every day, a new journal topic every day, and so much more. Access to me, ask me any and all questions you have, put me on the hot seat. I have a Q&A every single week. I have a call every week. If you made it to this point of the video, I want you to comment what the last vegetable you ate is. Mine's zucchini. What's yours? If you liked this video, you're gonna love the next one that pops up on the screen. It is my top 5 tips for maximum weight loss. I love you, honeys. I'll see you in that video, and I will see you inside Slim.